Did you know that the Northwoods Kindred isn't just a podcast? We are a living, breathing kindred with all kinds of helpful stuff all over the web. Now, we've made it super easy and convenient for you to stalk us by putting everything that we have into one easy-to-find location. In the description below, we added our link tree, and that'll take you to everything that we have all over the net. I hope that helps. Þórr viki, my friends. Welcome, everybody. Welcome here and welcome back. This is the Northwoods Kindred podcast. If you're new here, welcome just the same. I'm Bodvarr, the chieftain and Gothi of the Northwoods. And today I'm going to read you another story, but this time we're going to do it in poetic form. And I'm going to read it from Patricia Terry's Poems of the Vikings. And this particular version that I have is a second printing, copyright 1969 by the Bobbs Merrill Company Incorporated, printed in the United States. It's a fairly easy one to find. There are reprints and possibly even original prints available on Amazon at a decent cost. And what we're going to go through is I'm going to read the Sybils Prophecy, which some have also seen as the prophecy of the seeress, or some call it the Voluspa. It all depends on which translation and what the translator wanted to call it. And the reason that I chose Patricia Terry for this one is because she has a knack for putting it into just normal words and making it fairly fluid to read, but still maintaining somewhat of that poetic meter and style. Certainly the poetic stanzas are still maintained in their original form. Those aren't always easy to read. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just pick up a storybook and read the story. But she made it fairly easy to read by using common language and verbiage, at least as of 1969. So it's probably a good place to start if you wanted to transition from your practice from reading the real story type forms, which are, heavily embellished, to get back to the raw poems, the way that they were told or the way that they were transmitted over millennia. Then the best way to do it is to get books that are easier to read. Now, I like Hollander's version as well, but it's a little bit more cryptic with the poetic style that he takes, and he tries to maintain a little bit more of that original fluidity, which doesn't really work in English. But Patricia Terry did a very good job. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one, the Sybils Prophecy, after a real quick commercial break. You asked for it, so we did it. Northwoods Kindred now has some amazing swag that we created just for our tribesmen. We have branded specialty shirts, tote bags, coffee cups, and even our signature NWK bucket hats. No more tired old Viking designs pillaged from the net. These are high-quality products that you can only get by visiting our Teespring store. And most are available in a wide variety of sizes and color options. There's certainly something there to make every Norse heathen a happy camper. Link is in the link tree below. All right, welcome back. Make sure you listen to those commercials. I put those together. That's a good way that you can help support us. As it is right now, we're fairly new on the podcast scene and really across the web. So we don't bring a lot in to help support this work that we're trying to do here. But you visiting our websites, checking out our swag, that kind of stuff really does help. So we really do appreciate it. Now, without further ado, the Sybils Prophecy by Patricia Terry. A prophetess speaks to Odin about the world's creation and the doom of the gods. Grant me silence, you holy gods, and all men everywhere, Heimdall's sons, while War-Father listens to ancient lore, the oldest runes that I remember. I know giants of ages past, those who call me one of their kin. I know how 9 roots from 9 worlds below the earth where the ash tree rises. When Ymir lived long ages ago, before there were seas, chill waves or shore, earth was not yet, nor high heavens, but a great emptiness, nowhere green. The Bur's sons lifted up the land and made Midgard for men to dwell in. The sun shone out of the south, and bright grass grew from the ground of stone. The sun climbed the moon's companion, raised its right hand over heaven's rim. The sun did not know where its hall would stand. The stars did not know where they would be set. The moon did not know what would be its might. Then all the gods met to give judgment. The holy gods took counsel together. They named night and the waning moon. They gave names to morning and midday, afternoon and evening, ordered time by the years. The Aesir met in Eidavel. They built altars, high timbered halls, fashioned hearths to forge gold treasure, strong tools and heavy tongs. Cheerful, they sat over games of chess. They never knew any lack of gold until 3 Norns came, loathsome to look at, giant maidens from Jotunheim. And of the Aesir assembled there, 3 of the holy ones left the hall. They found on the land 2 feeble trees, the ash and elm, with no fixed fate. These did not breathe, nor had they feeling, speech or craft, bearing or color. Odin gave life's breaths, Honor gave feeling, Lothair gave craft, bearing and color. There is an ash tree, its name is Yggdrasil, a tall tree sparkling with clear drops of dew, which fall from its boughs down into the valleys. Evergreen it stands beside the Norn spring. There live 3 maidens, wise in lore. In a hall which stands beneath that tree, one is Erd, another is Verdandi. They have carved out runes. Skuld is the third. They established laws, decided the lives where men were to lead, marked out their fates. I remember war, the first in the world. The Aesir struck Gullveig with spears and burned her body in Har's hall. 3 times burned, 3 times born, again and again, yet she is still alive. She was called Heid in the halls that knew her, a Sibyl skilled at looking into time. She used magic to ensnare the mind, a welcome friend to wicked women. Then the mighty gods met to give judgment. The holy gods took counsel together. Would the Vanir claim victory tribute, or with the Aesir unite in peace? Odin took aim and shot into the host. That was the first war in the world. The wall of Asgard crushed to the ground. The Vanir marched to meet their foes. Then the mighty gods met to give judgment. The holy gods took counsel together. Who had let evil into the world, and offers to giants, Od's wife, Freya? Thor alone, raging, got revenge. He didn't often take insults lying down. Vows were broken, promises and oaths, the solemn treaties both sides had sworn. I can say where Heimdall's horn is hidden, beneath the holy tree which hides the sun. A waterfall keeps the branches cool. It flows from Odin's eye. Seek you wisdom still? I sat outside. The old one came, the lord of the Aesir, and looked into my face. Why have you come here? What would you ask of me? I know, Odin, how you lost your eye. It lies in the water of Mimir's well. Every morning Mimir drinks mead from Valfather's tribute. Seek you wisdom still? Odin gave me golden treasure. I looked far into the future, spoke with wisdom of all the worlds. I saw Valkyries. They came from everywhere, ready to ride to the lands of men. Skuld held a shield. So did Skogul. Gun was there, held. Gondel, Geirskogul. Now you know the names of the shield maids sent by Odin to the slain. I saw Balder stained with blood. I saw the fate of Odin's son above the fields, fragile and fair, climbed the tender mistletoe. From that same plant, which seemed so frail, Hod selected his fatal shaft. Balder's brother was born soon after, and 1 night old avenged Odin's son. He would not wash his hands or comb his hair till Balder's foe burned on the pyre. But Frigg wept in Fensalar for Valhall's sorrow. Seek you wisdom still? I saw in chains under the kettle wood someone who looked like Gulful Loki. There sits Sigyn. She doesn't seem happy for her husband. Seek you wisdom still? A river bears eastward through a baneful valley, swords and spears. It's called Schled. There stood to the north at Niddelfels a golden hall, the home of dwarves. There was another at Okelnir, a giant's beer hall. Brimir is his name. Far from the sunlight stood a hall on the shores of the dead. Its doors faced north. Deadly poison dripped through its roof, the rooms riddled with twisting snakes. I saw men wading through heavy streams. Some were oath-breakers, others had murdered. Some had lured another man's love. There the serpent sucked on corpses, the wolf rent dead men. Seek you wisdom still? Eastward, the old one, in the ironwood, raises the wolves of Fenrir's race. One is destined to be someday the monstrous beast who destroys the moon. He sucks out the strength of the dying, colors the heavens crimson with their blood. There will be dark sunshine the summer after, and evil weather. Seek you wisdom still? He sat on a grave mound striking a harp, Egthir, glad to guard the giants. Close to him, the bright red cock Fjalar crowded in the forest of birds. And in Asgard Goldcomb crowed, the cock who wakes Odin's warriors. Another is heard below the earth, a soot red cock in the halls of hell. Garm bays loudly from Nipa cave, his ropes will break and he will run free. Many spells I know, and I can see the doom that awaits the almighty gods. Brothers will die, slain by their brothers. Incest will break kinship's bonds. Woe to the world then, wedded to whoredom. Battle axe and sword rule, split shields asunder, storm-cleft age of wolves until the world goes down, only hatred in the hearts of men. Mime's sons play, now fate will summon from its long sleep the Gallarhorn, Heimdall's horn clamors to heaven. Dead Mime's head speaks tidings to Odin. Lofty Yggdrasil the ash tree trembles, ancient wood groaning, the giant goes free. How fare the Aesir? How do the elves fare? Jotunheim groans, the gods meet in council at the stone doorways of deep stone dwellings. Dwarfs are moaning, seek you wisdom still? Garm bays loudly from Nipa cave. His ropes will break and he will run free. Westward drives the giant, Rime his shield high. The world-grinding serpent rises from the water, lashing at the waves. The bright-beaked eagle rends corpses screaming. Naglfar sails free. Southward the ship sails, ruined by fire. Fiends led by Loki flies across the sea. Monstrous companions to the wolf brood. Baleist brother, Loki leads them. Surt fares northward, lord of the fire giants. His sword of flame gleams like the sun. Crashing rocks drag demons to their doom. Men find their way to hell as the sky splits open. The second sorrow comes to Odin's wife. Odin goes forth to fight the wolf. Frey, Bili's slayer, battles with Surt. Thus will Freya's loved one fall. Garm bays loudly from Nipa cave. His ropes will break and he will run free. Odin's son Vidar goes to fight the wolf. Then in the heart of the carrion beast, Loki's foul son, stands Vidar's sword. So is the god Odin avenged. Far-famed Thor, the son of Earth, the son of Odin, battles with the snake. 9 steps beyond the serpent's fury, Lodin's son still walks in pride. Dark in the sun, the earth sinks below the sea. No bright star now shines from the heavens. Only smoke and menacing fire leap to the skies in lordly flame. I see rising a second time out of the waters, the earth green once more. An eagle flies over rushing waterfalls, hunting for fish from craggy heights. The Aesir met in Idavel. They speak together about the serpent, looking again at days long past, remembering Odin's ancient runes. In later times a wondrous treasure, chessmen of gold, will be found on the grass where the Aesir had left them ages ago. Barren fields will bear again, woes will be cured when Baldur comes. Hod and Baldur will live in Odin's hall, home of the war gods. Seek you wisdom still? From bloody twigs Honor tells the future. The sons of Ve and Vili dwell in the sky, home of the wide winds. Seek you wisdom still? The mighty one comes down on the day of doom, that powerful lord who rules over all. I see a hall fairer than the sun, thatched with gold. It stands at Gimli. There shall deserving people dwell to the end of time and enjoy their happiness. There comes the dark dragon flying, flashing upward from Nidafels. On the wide, swift wings it soars above the earth, carrying dead bodies. Now it will sink down. Wow, that was a really good story. That was pretty powerful stuff. I enjoyed that very much. And let me just throw in a really quick commercial here, get some housekeeping taken care of at the end, and then I'll come back with my take on this prophecy of the seeress. Did you know that Gija Skogel and I have a small business called Survival Hardware LLC? We are dedicated to handcrafting heirloom quality goods. Real handmade products like knives, jewelry, and rich leather goods. All of our products are made with love and care right here in our Idaho shop and are sure to be among your most prized articles. If you sign up for the newsletter, when you get there, we'll get a 10% discount in your email off of the entire site for your first purchase. So fill up your cart, enjoy American-made products that'll last several lifetimes, and a 10% discount just for being awesome. Explore the site when you're there, because we also have some free and cheap digital downloads that are sure to enrich your pagan practices. And more are being added all the time. Our link tree is in the description below. So like I said, it's really cool the way Patricia Terry uses her superior intellect to put everything in words that are easy to read but still kind of maintain that poetic form and function. That's not easy to do if you've ever tried to translate anything. Of course, I've done it, but I've done it with like Google help, and it's even harder if you don't have any real linguistic intelligence, which I don't. So it's a very hard thing to do to make it so readable. And you can tell how well that flowed, and it doesn't always flow like that when you read other people's translations. So if you're looking for a copy, I put a link. There's a link to my link tree down below, and that copy takes you to my Amazon store, and of course this one's in it, so you can get one. Used copies, maybe this is like a second edition, but you can probably find this or a newer print, no problem. But I would suggest that if you're trying to learn how to read these old poems, like, maybe don't start with something like Hollanders, which is fantastic, and I highly recommend it. But maybe start with something like this, like Patricia Terry, because it's so easy to read. You'll get a little bit more, kind of more of the flow of how to put these stories together and make sense out of them, because the emphasis isn't always where it looks like it's supposed to be when it's written out in the poem. It really takes a little bit of practice to get it down right. And just kind of as a little side note, a little caveat, because I'm a little bit of a science nerd, and also I like science fiction. I thought it was interesting. I've always thought it was interesting that the seeress comes back with this "know you," or "would you like to know more," or "know you further," or "how," or it depends on the translation. But I love that it's the same thing that's in Starship Troopers when they go on their little space raids, and it's like, we're battling alien bugs on planet, alien whatever. Would you like to know more? And it's got that little clip thing at the end. Would you like to know more? I really like that. And I can't imagine that it didn't somehow get a little bit of inspiration from this exact poem. And if it didn't, it still tells you that we haven't really changed much, the things that we're attracted to. So a good storyteller, I don't know, a couple of thousand years ago when this story was first told verbally and not even written down, if that's the case, they knew how to sell a story, just like in Starship Troopers. They're using kind of that same line to sell the story. Would you like to know more? And you're like, yeah, I would like to know more. Where do I learn about that? So that's pretty cool. I thought that was kind of a really neat little correlation between the two. I don't know if they're connected, but it definitely, I definitely like to imagine that they are. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll come back with another one really soon. And I don't know, let me know what you think. Would you like for me to do... I can get some of these old out-of-print books and do audio recordings of the entire book and then put them on my website for a download for a small donation. Let me know what you think of that. You can email me at northwoodskndr@gmail.com, or you can jump on my Discord, hit me up on Facebook, in the comments on Twitter, anything. Like, I'm super easy to get a hold of. So do that. Let me know what you think, and I'll get to working on the next one for in a couple of days. So I appreciate you. Remember, I want to remind you to kick off your shoes, walk barefoot on the soil, get grounded, get connected, and have an amazing life. Þórr viki, my friends.